Hey, good evening, all of you, and welcome to the recharge. How are you all doing? Just go to the chat and say, how are you doing? It's exactly 7:30, and we don't wait for anyone. Good. Ami, hi, Ami, how are you doing? It's been a long time. Hi, Devananda. Very good. Excellent presentation coming up every single day. Proud of you. Right.
Hi, Sensei. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Ami.
How are you doing?
Good, good, good. I'm fine. Absolutely fine.
Hey, Sensei.
Hello, hi, Lena. Thank you very much for joining in. Alvin, Anthony,
Today I
Jilu.
have put my name, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's nice because I always get confused. Well, during recharge, it's not an issue because we have guests coming in from all over the world, so we don't bother. But if it's a paid session and if I see some name
I know.
which is not in our list, then I get a bit confused. Who is this person? Especially in the coach to coach program and so forth.
So you please continue. I need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to complete my office work.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
Okay.
Take your time. Take your time.
I am online, but
Okay.
please.
No issues at all. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? Let's go ahead straight away to the point. No waiting for anybody else. If you have any questions, clarification, so forth, just go ahead and I'll be more than happy to address those things. Yep. Anyone? Go ahead.
Hi, Sensei.
Hello.
Can I speak?
Yeah. Sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to get some advice from you regarding overcoming stage fear and stage fright.
Okay. And that is Alvin, am I right? Is it Dr.
Yes.
Alvin, am I right?
Yes, Sensei. Yes.
And where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm in Cochin.
Cochin, okay. Okay, when somebody's on the somebody's on the call, please mute yourself. Others, please mute yourself. When somebody's on the call, please mute yourself. Thank you very much, Mr. Vinod. Okay, Alvin, tell me, when was the last time you did a presentation?
I do it every week, but
Okay.
still I'm not confident enough to face a huge audience. I have to do it as a part of my job. I have to do it every maybe a week or maybe once in 2 weeks. I have to do it, but still I don't feel confident.
Okay, there are four different categories of people. Okay, four different categories of people. So let me just explain that. So this is not a PowerPoint presentation, so I'll just make it very simple so that you can understand that. The very first type of people are those, number one, they are not subject matter expert, meaning they don't know what they want to talk. They have no idea about what they want to talk. And number two, they are not good presenters either. That is number one. Okay. These people, they won't be able to perform very well because number one, they don't know the subject. And number two, they don't know how to communicate or connect with people. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, let's go for the second one. The second one are really, these are SMEs or subject matter experts. This could be engineers, this could be doctors, this could be financial advisors. They could be extremely best of the best in their industry. However, they are not, number two, when you look at the second quality, they don't have the quality of presentation. They don't know how to present. Now, it is exactly like the first type of people. These people also can't connect with the audience. Why? Because whatever they are saying, it would be more of a technical stuff and it would be flying over the head of the audience. Did you get that? Second type of people. Let's go to the third type of people. The third type of people are those who are very good in presentation. They know how to do the presentation. They are the masters in it. But the only condition is that they do not know the subject matter. Okay, because for example, if I were to be a trainer or a facilitator and you are running your own business and you call me, Sensei, would you be able to come and do a presentation for my team on XYZ? I would say yes, because you're going to pay me. So I say yes, and I come there and I do the presentation. However, I have no idea about what is your subject or whatever the topic is, but I make sure that the training is really interesting. What happens here, by the end of the day, the training would be interesting. All the audience member would enjoy my training program. However, it's not adding value to your community or your audience or your staff member. Why? Because I didn't teach anything which was exactly required to be taught. You agreed?
Yeah.
So that is category number three. And the fourth category of people are these are two qualities they need to have. Number one, they should be having very good subject knowledge, number one, and number two, they should be very good in presentation. If these two things marry together, that's when the presentation becomes the best presentation, because now your presentation becomes entertaining, And number two, it adds value. These are the two things that we have to look for. Number one, is it adding value? And to add value, you must be a subject matter expert. And number two, is it entertaining and connecting, for which you need to have presentation skills. Now, it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have standing in front of the stage or speaking in the meetings and so forth. People have this butterfly. Okay, people have this butterfly, exactly like what you spoke right now. People have butterfly based on many things. Number one, based on a new environment. If, for example, if I were to travel from India now, if I had to go to some other place, and if that is the very first time I'm going there, so I would definitely have the butterfly in my stomach. Do you agree? Number two, it could be you're conducting the training program, the same room, the same hall, the same board room. However, the people who are going to come is a different executive. It could be a senior executive members. It could be the CEO, the VP of the company, and so forth. Now, it is not the scenario. It is the audience have changed. You agree? So it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have, you will definitely have the butterfly. And the butterfly is always nice. The butterfly is always nice because the butterfly gives you the stress to work hard. It has to, the stress is always good. Whenever I speak to the best of the best instructors and trainers and facilitators and speakers in the world, everybody has got this butterfly. Okay, everybody. And the butterfly, the best part of the butterfly is that it will only stay there for 5 minutes. It will stay only for 5 minutes. The butterfly fly away. I mean, once you are in connection, once you connect with the people, it's no more. It's always before you jump into the cold water. Do you agree to that, Alvin? Yes, it's before you jump into the cold water, because you feel that the water is going to be very cold and chilly, and you're going to freeze to death. But once you put one hand, the other hand, then you dip your leg, automatic, what happens? Everything is cool. It is going to happen for you as well. So how can you, now the question is, how can you get rid of this? Well, whatever you do, the 10% of that fear factor or the butterfly would definitely be there, and it's always good. It's always good to have that. That's number one. So let's be very positive on that one, because you can't get rid of it. Now, the second thing is, how can you reduce it? There's only one way to reduce it. And this is exactly the example that I would take from Abraham Lincoln, who said that if you got 6 hours to cut a tree, what are you going to do with the 6 hours? And his answer was 4 hours, I'm going to sharpen the axe, and the 2 hours I'm going to use to chop the tree. So what if I take the same analogy and put it into presentation or training or speaking, whatever it is that you spend around about 80% of your time. Now here's the 80-20 principle, 80% of your time in preparation. If your preparation is fine, your delivery becomes super, super easy. People are not there to see who you are. They're not interested in those things. People are there to see whether you are bringing two things. Okay, especially because I believe that you are working for adults. Am I right? You're not working for kids. Are you working for kids or for adults? Adults. So whenever you are speaking to adults, there are two things they would be looking for. It's called the 2Ps. Okay. The number one is it has to be practical. Whatever you're saying is practical. You can't just bring out something like you can play around with kids. You can't do that. Whatever you say must be practical, or it has to be logical. And number two, it must be a problem solver. How many of you got it? How many of you got it? I want everyone to type 2Ps. Please go to the chat and type 2P. There are only two things. Number one, whatever you say, whether it's in a meeting, board meeting, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a training, whatever it is, if you're dealing with adults, they'll be looking only for two things. Number one is it practical? Whatever you're saying. If it's not practical, they will not buy you. You might be very good you might be very good at your trade, but that doesn't mean they'll buy your ideas if it's not practical, number one. And number two, it has to be a problem solver. If it's not solving the problem, the current issue, they will not buy it. So before you go on stage, before you go for this board meeting or anything, you ask yourself, is this two things? Now, how they conceive it depends upon many things. It depends upon their experience. Okay, their experience, not your experience. Based on their experience. But let's say there are 5 people who are sitting and watching you talk. The 5 people here would be grasping what you're saying in different ways based on their experience. You agree? Yes. If I were to be a CEO, 20 years of experience, there's somebody who has just joined, who is in the middle management, or someone who is just in a junior level position, so forth. Everybody's grasping is different. Therefore, in the training program, and whenever you come for the train the trainer program, this is what I say. When you come for the train the trainer program, there is one word that you should not use. Not, sorry, not one word. There are two words that you should not be using. Do you know anybody who knows those two words? These are the two words you should not be using if you're a trainer or a facilitator, especially when you're talking about the objective of the training. What are those two words? What are the two words that you should never use when you're doing a training program? When you're discussing, especially I'm talking about the learning objective. Anybody, trainers, facilitators, coaches, anyone who is there, just go and type. What are the two words that you should never use in your training objective or the learning objective or the outcome? Try, no. Anybody else? I'll give you 30 seconds, all of you. Just go and type anything that you recall, remember, if you're gone to the training program and so forth. If you know those things, just go and type. Zena, not try. Anything else? Excuse me.
Is it negativity?
No. Jyotilal is nego. No, it's not that. Anybody else? Anyone? If I say that I'm going to give you 10,000 rupees, maybe you will give me the answer. Am I right? But I'll give you only 15 seconds for that because I want to make sure the money is safe in my pocket itself. Okay, your time is out. 2 words. Okay, I want you to type 2 words. Go and type 2 words. I want you to type 2 words. Just go and type 2 words. Okay. I'm going to share this 2 words. Number 1, you should never say that by the end of this training program. Okay, this is the objective part. Okay, the learning objective. Now, before I go for the learning objective, what are these 2 words? Is learning objective important? Is learning objective important? If yes, just go and type. Is learning objective important? Yeah. Is it important? The answer is yes. Now, what do you mean by learning objective? Learning object is nothing but what is the end result. That's very simple. Learning objective. Is it coming from Alvin, your background, the noise?
No, not mine.
It's from Vinod. Sensei, please make me as the co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. So a learning objective is nothing but the goal. That is what is that you're going to learn by the end of this session. That's it. Very simple. Until otherwise you have a goal, will people come and learn from you? Yes or no? Alvin, Alvin, keep yourself on, okay? Alvin, I'm speaking to you. So Alvin, your question, and everybody can answer there in the chat. Do you think that somebody will come to your training program? If you are selling a training program, would people come to your training program until otherwise know what you're going to teach? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is called the learning objective. The learning objective is what is that you will get at the end? What is the result? What is the outcome that you'll get end of that 1 hour session, 2 hour session, or maybe 5 day session? So these are the 2 words you should never put in your ads. You should not put even in the slide, in your PowerPoint slide when you show this is the learning objective. Number 1, the first word is understand. The first word that you should not be using in your learning objective is understand. That means by the end of the session, you will be able to understand A, B, C, or how can we take A and make it Z. Understand is a word you should never use. Why? Because my understanding is different from the understanding who is sitting besides me, and it is different from the person who is sitting behind me. Do you agree?
Yes.
So therefore, my understanding, Devananda is here, she's very young. Her understanding would be different from my understanding. Is that right? So everybody, because based on what? Based on experience. You got me? Based on experience, our understanding is different. The second word that you should not be using is called learning. By the end of this session, you will learn, because everybody does not learn the same way. Do you agree? I don't learn in the way that you learn, and Mr. Brelvi, Dr. Brelvi, or Sopna would be learning in some other way, because they would like to learn through maybe video and audio. Some other would be like to learn through lectures, and third person would like to learn by teaching somebody else. So our learning is different. And that also depends upon our, number 1 is experience. You agree? So going back, when you know that you have a speech today, or when you know that you have a meeting today, a board meeting, the first thing that you have to know is 2 things. It has to be practical. It has to be problem solver. And then before you start writing your script or whatever it is, or preparing your slide, you have to ask yourself, who are those people that's going to be my audience? Is it important to know your audience? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is 100% sure you have to know your audience, because otherwise you will be delivering non-vegetarian food to a vegetarian person. How many of you got it?
Yes.
Say IGI, say IGI if you got it. Until otherwise, you do not know that the person is vegetarian. You go and give him or serve him. He could be your best friend, but you didn't understand your friend and you serve him the best of the best biryani. He will never touch that. Why? Because it was your mistake. It is not that how beautify your presentation is. It is not how beautiful you decor your biryani. No. How many of you got it? It's not how beautiful your presentation, your PowerPoint is. It's how you deliver that to the person who can conceive it. How many of you got it? It has to marry each other. If it does not marry, then it's not going to work. Therefore, the first E I mentioned was experience. The second E that I'm going to explain here is called engage. You got it? You have to engage. Now, how can you engage somebody in your meeting? How can you engage somebody in your training program? How? Tell me, help me out. How can you engage someone?
Questions.
Exactly correct. By asking questions. By asking questions. Now it depends upon who you are. If you feel that, oh my goodness, that is a CEO, that isn't so and so, that isn't so and so, I should not be asking questions, then automatically you're not engaging. By asking questions, you would engage them. So feel free to ask questions. So the more questions you ask, the more engaging you become. The third one is I gave you an example of biryani. Am I right? Now that I didn't think about it, it just came automatically because it comes because of your experience. It automatically came in. Number 3, the third E is examples. So what was the first E?
Experience.
Experience plays a major role. Number 2, engage. Number 3,
engage.
And number 3, example.
Examples.
And number 4 was the fourth E. I know that many of you are trainers here. Tell me, what is the fourth E? What could be the fourth E?
Entertain.
Entertain, absolutely correct. Excellent. Julu, absolutely right. You have to entertain your customers. You have to entertain your audience. Now, entertain doesn't mean that you have to do a dance there. How many of you got it? How many of you got it? You should not be over entertaining, okay? And you should not be going, okay, every after second minute you go for a what do you call recharging, or go for an icebreaker or energizer. No, that becomes really horrible. Entertaining is you have to make them speak in such a way there's a laugh, there is a relaxation. That's it. Okay. And when you use the entertaining technique, you also have to see whether you are talking to people who are very, very senior, because very senior people, they don't like to be entertained too much. How many of you got that? Okay. So you have to maintain all those things. What is the fifth E? What is the fifth E?
Energetic.
That comes in all. It's one of those things. Yes. Other than that, energetic is there, but give me one more.
Enthusiasm.
Energetic, both comes in the same. Both comes in the same.
Enlightening.
Enlightening. Okay. There's one more. I'm looking for one more. It is empathy.
Patient.
Empathy.
Encouraging.
No, empathy.
Encouraging.
Empathy. Now, why did I say empathy? Because when I give an example, it will not, sometimes it may not be, sometimes you may not be able to connect it. For example, if I'm going to the United States and I'm giving an example of cricket, do you think they'll be able to understand about Sachin Tendulkar and cricket? Tell me.
No.
Because they don't know what is cricket. Am I right? Because they don't know cricket. So whenever you go to a country, make sure that what is the culture there. If you're taking sports as an example, if you're taking any sort of example, you apply the example. If it's not working, then you put your empathy technique. Empathy technique is you put yourself in your customer's shoes and talk from their perspective. How many of you got it? That's how you play. Okay. So what are the E's that we spoke now? There are many E's. Okay, I didn't speak about all the E's. What are the E's that we spoke right now? Number one, experience plays a major.
Example.
Engage. Example.
Entertain. Empathy.
Very good. Energizes all comes in this. Okay, I'm not going into detail. So these are the 5 key E's that you have to always keep in mind whenever you're doing a training program. Or
so once again, sir, please.
Number one is experience.
So once again, engage.
Number 1 is experience. Number 2 is engage.
Okay, sir.
Number 3 is your example. Number four is entertain.
Right, sir.
And number 5 is empathy.
Empathy.
Yes, exactly correct. Okay, and so when you put the empathy
I'm
part,
new to this session, sir.
thank you. Where are you from?
I have been invited by Mr. Anish.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I saw him on TV show.
Okay.
And I was actually. My name is Vinod. I am also just like Anish only, having some disabilities, but I want to overcome such disabilities and become a trainer.
It's not a disability. It is not a disability. Who said that it's a disability? Yeah. You are
differently able, I mean.
Yes, you're differently able. That's it. You're not disabled. You're not disabled. You're differently able. So definitely I'm going to speak to you. So let me conclude with Alvin. Alvin, is that okay? So next time you always keep these two things in mind. Are you a problem solver or are you a problem creator? That's number one. And is your speech going to give a solution to the problem? Number two, is it practical what you're going to say? Then you apply the E principle. I'll tell you whatever it is, it's going to work very well. However, you have to do your practice. You have to prepare yourself before you go for your presentation. So 80% is preparation, 20% is your presentation. 80-20 principle. Did I answer your question, Alvin?
Yes. Thank you so much, Sensei.
You're happy with that?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Sensei, will you please tell me, I'm Suhail.
Yes.
Will you please tell me what is experience means from these 5 A?
Okay. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what is your position? I know you, but others don't know you. So tell me what is your background.
I'm Suhail, calling from Kottayam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a teacher empowerment coach.
Okay.
And I'm participating in CTC program.
Good. And by profession, I think you're also a principal of a school. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So as a principal of a school, your experience would be different from a 10th grade student. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if I have got 5 audience members who are listening to me, and right now we have got students as well here. Okay. So each and every person who is listening to me has got a different experience. Am I right?
Yes.
Do you agree to that? And based on your experience, you can keep yourself unmuted. So based on your experience, what I'm saying, you might be able to understand that. However, there would be a student who won't be able to understand that. A teacher would be there. She won't be able to understand what I'm saying. And there could be a mother or a parent who won't be able to understand. Why? Because I was speaking in a level that only a principal was able to understand. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
So when you go on stage, when you speak to people, now, whenever I conduct training program, it's not, my audience are not people from one country. Whenever I go and do a training program, there are people from 10 to 15, 20 different countries sitting together, listening to me. Some of them are from China, Japan, Korea, India, Pakistan, and all those places. They come and sit in my training program. And this training happens every single day. I'm not talking about virtual training program. I'm talking about live training program when I was in the profession. Every single day I have to conduct training program, and there would be more than 30 people attending my training program. And these all are professionals sitting together. Now, I do understand that they all are professionals. However, their first language is not English. Therefore, I must be very, very clear about what I speak. Number one, what is the word that I used? What is the word that I used? Go and type. What is the word that I used?
Clear.
Exactly. I want everyone to go and type. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why did I use the word. Whatever you speak must be crystal clear. Now, why it should be very crystal clear? There's a reason behind it, because there could be somebody from China or Japan, and they would be using their transcribers and so forth to understand English. They're very slow. However, there would be somebody from the United States who is able to understand. So when you speak, it has to be very clear so everybody understands that. How many of you got it? Everyone should be able to understand. Your focus should not be only the person from the United States or from the UK or Australia where their first language is English. You should be focusing on everyone, because you have to respect all the audience member. Therefore, English, when you speak any language, especially if it's a foreign language, make sure it's crystal clear. That's number one. That's how you can become an international trainer or a teacher. Otherwise, no. Number two, you have to 100%. Now, what is the number I said? 100. Go and type. You should 100%, not should, but must 100%. There's one thing that you must avoid. Do you know what is that? There 100%, this is one thing that you must completely avoid. Do you know what is that? Completely avoid. You should never bring that. Okay, that is called accent. Sharp, very strong accent, like American accent, sharp British accent, or maybe Australian accent. No, be neutral. I don't have any accent. Have you seen that? When I speak with an American, I change. And if I know that it's one-on-one conversation, I can change my accent into American. If I'm speaking to a Brit, I can change my accent. If I'm talking to somebody from Australia, I can change my accent. However, my general tone, when I'm speaking to a number of people, my accent should be neutral. How many of you got it? So do not, this is something I've seen, which is something that I really don't know why people are doing. They imitate to be an American and you spoil the complete English. How many of you got it? Say, I got it.
I do agree with you, and I understand that people are stubborn that their tone is correct, their accent is correct, or somebody else's tone should be adopted, and they forget the real communication. And in nowhere in the world one accent is it. English. Even in Malayalam, the 14 district had 28 accents. So it's, we cannot say that any accent of any country is the correct accent of English.
Absolutely.
Whatever it should be clear, crystal clear, we should communicate.
Exactly correct. So when you bring this accent into place, what happens? There is one thing that you lose. What is that one thing that you lose? When you bring accent, there is one thing that you lose. What is that one thing? Go and time. Yeah, exactly correct. You lose a connection. You disconnect with people. You're now wondering, what did he say? What did he say? And you disconnect. And how did this culture came to us? And it's more of the call center. And especially, I know Mr. Suresh Babu is calling from Bangalore. And I know that most of the people in Bangalore, they have this, what do you call, call centers, and their customers are from the United States and so forth. So people from all other part, they go to this call center, and now they have taught this accent, and they are neither here, neither there. You got me? And if you're using the same English to connect with people, you completely disconnect. So please make sure it is not about your accent. Your accent does not play an important role. It is not about you. It's not about you. It's all about two things. Number one, can you solve the problem, a problem solver? And number two, if it's practical, then do it. Otherwise, you will disconnect people. And always keep in mind, 7 seconds. You've got only 7 seconds to connect with people. If you fail to connect with someone within the first 7 seconds, you have lost everything. Okay, so going back to Suhail, it's all about experience. Do you get me? So this is what I mean. This is what I meant by experience. Is it okay?
Yes,
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you have answered.
Thank you. Next, please. Anyone can ask me.
Anish here.
Yes, please, Anish.
Instead of understand and learn, what we can use?
Okay, what you have to do is, I want everyone to go to Google. This is your homework. Go to Google. Let me just turn the fan to my side. It's really warm. Okay, I want everyone to go to Google and look for actionable verbs. What is that? Go and type actionable verbs. Go and type. Okay, this is for all instructors, trainers who want to be known as international trainers, facilitators, coaches. Without that, you will not be able to work. I want everyone to go and type actionable verbs, and this is something that you can go and Google. Now, what are the words? There are different words that you can use, and these words must be actionable. Okay, learning is not actionable. Understanding is not actionable. It could be number one. By the end of this training program, you will be able to apply. How many of you believe that's actionable? By the end of this training program, you will be able to apply A, B, and C. How many of you agree to that? Apply. By the end of this training program, you will be able to discover what is webinar. Discover. Okay, so in that way, you will get around about 50 or 100 words if you go and look for actionable verbs under learning objective. You have to write learning objective, actionable words. You'll get a lot of them, and those are the words that you have to use in your what you call learning objective. By the end of the session, you will be able to calculate it of 1 to 10 within 2 seconds. Calculate. By the end of this session, you'll be able to demonstrate XYZ. Demonstrate. It's an action. How many of you got it? It's not actionable word, it's actionable verb. Actionable word is different. I'm talking about verbs, something that you do. Okay, Rashid? Yes. Right. So, and whenever you do this, whenever you are in the training program as a facilitator or as a coach, you have to see what is the action they can do and what is the end result they can produce. If you can't produce any end result, or if you can't promise any end result, nobody's going to come for your training program. So your promise must be what is that I can achieve by the end of the session. And that is what we call as WIIIFM. What do you mean by WI? Yes, construct, make, calculate, compare, evaluate, judge. Suhail, thank you very much. Okay, what is WIIIFM? W with 3 I's, FM.
What is in it for me?
What is in it for me? Because every individual who's coming for your training program, that the question that they ask is, what is there in it for me? And you should be able to answer the question in your slide number 2 or 3. That is, by the end of the session, you will be able to 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, I will not focus on what you're going to say. How many of you got it? So in order for me to focus on your training program, I should be very clear and very specific that by the end of this 1.5 hours, this is what that you're going to achieve. And the same learning object is what you have to use for marketing your product. For example, if you're doing a Facebook ad, you will be saying, this is a training program that I'm going to conduct. And by the end of this training program, you'll be able to 1, 2, 3, 4 actionable thing. You'll be able to discover 3 secrets of how to do a webinar. You will be able to learn the 6 steps. Whenever you give steps, always keep in mind, that it has to end up with the number 9. When I say 9, it is less than 10. You can say 3 steps, 6 steps. It's always nice to have in single digit, and it's always nice to be up to 9. Is that okay? How many of you got it? If it's more than 10, people say, oh my goodness, 10 steps. How can I learn those 10 steps? Okay. Your devil comes and speaks. It'll start telling you that it's more than 10 steps. It's very hard for you. Nitin, it's very hard for you. Sabu Sultan, it's very hard for you. Don't go for it. Keep it limited. 9 numbers. How many you got it? I want you to go and type number 9. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
My pleasure. Any other question? Please go ahead. Please go ahead. If you want to become a brand, yes, there is no question. Anyone can ask. Okay, this is free. There is no age limit because we consider everyone to be leaders here. Yes. Who's next? Yes, please go ahead, Devananda.
Yes, sir. So how to overcome the people who...
What did you call me?
Sorry. Sensei, how to overcome the people who are not accepting you, and if you have to be with them for a long time, how to overcome them?
Okay, one thing, can you change them?
Yes.
Can you change them?
Yes.
Okay, if you can change them, who has to take action, you or them?
Me.
Okay, and in order to, you can only show them, am I right?
Yes.
You can only show them, you can only lead them, but the question is, would they follow you?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yes.
So what you do is you apply your strategy there. You do your best to lead them. If you feel that you're wasting your time, there are a lot of people. Devananda, do you know that there are a lot of people who are really ready to learn something from you?
Yes. Do
you agree to that? So
yes.
why do you spend your valuable time with people who do not respect you? Why do you waste your time with people who do not admire you? Why do you go and spend your time with people who do not appreciate you? When there are people on the other side of the corner of the road who are there waiting for Devananda to come and give one word. So therefore, it's very important for you, Devananda, to identify you are a young leader, and I want you to identify who are those people who need my service. Who are those people who I can change, who are ready to change? Go and help them. They will, and don't do it for the appreciation purpose, because they want it. They are hungry. My teacher, Les Brown, says that you must be hungry. If you are full tummy, and you can't eat anything else, and I say that I got a burger, would you eat that?
No.
No. But if you're feeling hungry and you didn't eat for 2 days, and if I give you a bottle of water, would you drink that?
Yes, of course.
That is, you should look for people who are hungry and feed them. They will appreciate you, and everything that you give them, like a bottle of water, every single drop is a wisdom to them, and that will change their life.
Thank you, Sensei.
My pleasure. Next question,
Hi,
please.
Sensei.
Hi, Mujib. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am Mujib Rahman. Sometimes somebody don't know.
Okay, that is Mujib Rahman from Saudi Arabia. Go ahead, please.
See, last week you told the learning annex.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what is that?
Yes. Let me prove that. Okay. Learning Annex is an organization in the United States which conduct training program. Now, in India, the culture of training program actually came recently, where you bring different instructors and they come and do training programs. However, this system has been in the United States for quite a long time. And there were three people, or I believe there are three of them, they joined together with a venture, and they called it as Learning Annex. And what their job is to bring instructors and trainers, facilitators, speakers from different parts of the world, different parts of the United States to one single platform, and they speak, and people come pay a little amount and they come and attend this program. How many of you got it? Say, I got it, IGI, if you got it. So let me take you step by step so you can understand about it. Good. Now, there was a higher recommendation from those audience members. Now, this happened a few years back. Okay, now I'm talking about more than 10 years back. Okay, it's more than 10 years back. So there was a higher recommendation for bringing one gentleman as a speaker, and that gentleman was nobody else other than Donald Trump. So people were saying, bring Donald Trump because he's a successful business person. So please bring him on as a presenter, as a keynote speaker, so that we can learn from him his business ideas and so forth. So this gentleman, I don't remember his name, he goes and he approaches Donald Trump through his manager and so forth, and he was able to speak to Donald. And he said, Donald, we would like to bring you down to this particular arena where you can speak for 1 hour. And Donald said that, yes, I'm ready. I'm not at all an issue, but do you know what is my fee? So he said that, well, I don't know. He said that for me, it is for 1 hour, it's going to be $1 million US. This is something I'm talking about many years back. Okay, it's more than 10 years back. He said it's going to be $1 million. And this gentleman said that, oh my goodness, that's too much. I can't afford that. He said, Donald Trump said one thing, go and tell that Donald Trump is going to come. Then he went and he published that Donald Trump is going to be our next speaker. It was full, and he was able to make or generate a revenue more than $1 million US. How many of you got that? Say, I got it. Say, IGI if you got it. Okay, good. Now, the next year, what happened after 1 year, and that was a very good presentation. He did a very good thing there. He's a good speaker, in fact. I'm not into politics. So the next year, again, there was a huge demand for bringing him down, bringing Donald Trump. So he again calls Donald Trump and says, Donald, we would like to bring you down again for the next venture. Last time we bought you and we are ready to pay you 1 million, no issues at all. So Donald Trump said, that was last year. How many of you got it? That was last year. This year it is 2 million. He said that, how is it possible 2 million? He said, go and tell Donald Trump is going to come. He went and he published that Donald Trump is going to come. This is the day when he is going to speak for 1 hour. And he made a revenue of more than 2 million US. Now, what we understand here is the person did not have the capacity to think, whereas as a leader, Donald Trump put the seed into his head to think open box. How many of you got it? Say, I agree. How many of you got it? Say, I agree. Go and type IG, please. This gentleman, sorry?
Could you please repeat?
Yeah. The gentleman, let's say it was you. Okay, you are the person to organize it. And I said, okay, Rashid, if you want to bring me down to your place in Dubai and do the session, I'm going to charge you 2 million US dollars. You said that last year I gave you 1 million, but this year 2 million is too much. I said, go and tell people that Farookh, since he's going to come, you charge the amount so that you can make 2 million US dollars. And you were able to make the 2 million US dollars. Meaning, before you had the conversation with me, you didn't have that sort of expectation, and you didn't have the belief that you can make 2 million US dollars plus, but I put the seed in your head to think outside the box, and you were able to think outside the box, and therefore you were able to generate a revenue. Why? Because now you change your strategy. What is that word? I want you to go and type. What is that word? I want you to go and type. What is the word? Strategy. You have to change the strategy, because when Rashid came to call me for the first time, his strategy and his mindset was fixed for $1 million US. But when I said it's going to be $2 million, he had to change the strategy. He had to change his marketing style and everything. And now he has come up with a new thing that is minimum of $2 million US. And this person was able to generate the revenue of $2 million US. Okay, you got these two stories?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Now I applied a technique here. Could you tell me what is the technique I applied?
Increase my value.
Sorry?
Increase my value.
No, that is the story. No, I personally applied a technique here. What is the technique?
Put the seed in the head to think out of the box.
That is true. And that technique has got a name.
Motivation?
No.
Storytelling?
No.
Encouraging?
No. This is a true example of empathy. Did you learn the 5 E's today? The 5th E was empathy. I put myself into Rashid's shoe and made him the example. You got it? So whenever you want to explain something, make the person as an example, automatically that becomes an empathy. And he would be able to relate it. You got me? I didn't use Donald Trump anymore. I used my name. I used Rashid as an example. I said Dubai. Did you get me? So whenever you want to, whenever somebody is asking a question, think about, frame a new question, frame a completely new scenario, and frame it as if the character in that frame is you and the person who asked the question. That reframing is called empathy. Okay, so after this two session, the company, what was the name of the company? It's called Learning Edge. Donald Trump purchased that company. Donald Trump purchased that company, and these two people, Donald Trump and that same person, came up with a book which is called, can you see that? And can you see the logo? Can you see the logo of Learning Edge? Sorry, not Learning Edge, the Learning
Annex.
Annex. Did you see that? Okay, it's called the Think Big. And he actually applied, and this is called the practical. Okay, today I was talking about practical. It has to be a problem solving and practical, and he was able to show that yes, you can think big, and he made him think big, and they both partnered, and they came up with this book. That is called Learning Annex. Meaning, if you want to do something, you have to put the seed in somebody's head, you have to make them think, and that is law number 1 when it comes to leadership, and you can make magic happen. Mujib, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Next question, please.
Sensei, Ami Rashid here.
Okay, go ahead, Ami. What's your question?
Sensei, how to practice mindfulness?
Okay, and what do you mean by mindfulness? Let's understand.
For me, when I'm reading something or researching something or practicing like meditation or something, my mind wanders somewhere else. Wherever I wish I can go all without my wish as well. So I need to practice more mindfulness. Okay. Whatever I do.
There are two. Thank you very much, Ami.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much for asking. And Ami is calling right now from Dubai. So to answer your question, Ami, there are two things that you have to remember. Two things that you have to always keep in mind. I wouldn't use the word remember. There are two things that you have to always keep in mind. Number one, what are the things that's distracting you? What are the things that is distracting you? If there is anything that is distracting you, you have to get away from it. Do not go and meditate when you're hungry. What will come in your mind? Do not go and meditate. You might be the best meditator in the world, if you may use that word. I don't know whether it's the English language, proper English language. However, don't do that when you're feeling hungry. Don't do meditation when you feel that you want to go to the loo. Do you think that you will be able to meditate? Ami, keep yourself unmuted. Is it possible for you to meditate if you feel that your bladder is full?
No.
Absolutely no. So there are many things you have to take action even before you think to become mindful. There are a lot of things that you have to take action, pre-action, before you go into that stage. So those are number two things. Number two is physical things around you. Anything that can distract you. Anything that can distract you, you have to remove that from your side. That's why people go for simplicity or minimalism, whatever it is. You go for the minimalism. Why? Then you can focus. If I take Steve Jobs was a person of minimalism. Even his kids didn't have mobile device. Did you know that? And if you look at his house, he did not have a table or a chair in his house. His house had just a mat. Why? Because it could be for many reasons. It could be for many reasons. So number one is to declutter anything. To declutter anything mentally or physically. Now, I can challenge that. You take anyone in the world, even somebody from the jungle who has never seen a city, he cannot be or she cannot be or anybody in the world can't be 100% focused on one thing because the mind is so powerful, it will wander somewhere. Do you agree? Okay. Now, this is where you apply the autopilot. Now, what do you mean by autopilot? An autopilot is when a captain flies his plane and he's destined to a particular destination, he would make sure that the autopilot is set in that way. The plane takes off. The plane takes off, and sometimes with the wind, it may go here and there. The autopilot brings it back. The autopilot brings it back so that it lands properly. You have to apply the same system. When the mind goes, apply your autopilot. Bring your mind back. How many of you got it? The mind will go. For sure, the mind will go. Don't restrict it. The more you restrict, the more it will go there. I know that NLP, they ask you, do not think about a blue elephant, and you automatically start thinking of the blue elephant. Am I right? This is something they use it. I've been hearing that for I think more than 2 or 3 decades now. They say, don't think about the blue elephant, and then you start thinking about the blue elephant. Why? Because if you restrict your mind is like a child. Keep that in mind. Your mind is like a child. When you tell your child not to do that, your child will do that. How many of you agree to that? If you tell your child not to do that, your child will do that. So this is your child inside it. Don't say, don't do that. When it does that, say, it's okay, let me come back. Let me come back. Now, whether you pray, you don't pray. Whether you focus, you don't focus. Whether you meditate, you don't meditate. When you sit there, your mind will go. You're sitting in meditation thinking that, okay, I'm going to focus, and it'll go. When you open your book, the first thing comes in, hey, my goodness, I watched a movie yesterday. Wow. And then you say, oh my goodness, I'm studying. Let me go back. So what did you do that? When you open the book, your purpose is to read the book or focus on the book. Automatically, your mind went somewhere else. And what did you do? After a fraction of a second, you brought it back and you started reading the book. Am I right? That's how you can be. So mindfulness plays, there are a lot of things that plays around it. Okay. And if you want, then now the best part of it, now let me tell you, if I want to focus on something, now this does not apply to everyone. I'm talking about from my perspective. If I want to focus on something, put me on a busy bus. Okay. And I think it's more than 20 years I have traveled in a bus. But however, if you put me on a bus, and if it's a crowded bus, and if the bus is shaking here and there, and I'm holding that pole or the brackets or whatever it is, I can stand there and I can meditate. How many of you got it? So meditation, focus, mindfulness is not about where you are. You can still do that. You can still do that based on how much you have practiced that. Now, why did I say that I can do that? Because I come from the martial art field. I come from the martial art field. In the martial art field, we have been practicing this from the childhood itself. Therefore, I can do it, but that doesn't mean that everyone can do it. I'm not a motivational speaker saying that I can do it and you can do it. No, I'm not doing that. I can do it. That means I can do it. If you want to do it, you have to do it. How many of you agree? Don't be a motivational speaker, okay? Don't go and motivate anyone. Okay, they'll come back after 2 days saying that you motivated me. Now I'm not able to do anything, and now see I'm going depressed. So don't believe in motivation speaking. Motivation speakers are good, but don't go and motivate anybody else. Okay, see whether you're doing it the right way. Encourage people what they can do. Sami, did I answer your question? Number one, declutter. Make sure that the environment is clear, the surrounding is clear, and your mind is clear. And make sure that their body is clear. The body is clear means if the body requires something, make sure that everything is off, and then you focus on that. And switch off your mobile phone, switch off your what do you call notification, and switch off your friends. Switch off your friends. Very important. Just like Devananda asked, okay, if I can't change people, what you could do? There are a lot of people who do not respect your time. Was it Devananda who came in today with that particular thing? True friends, they don't respect time. Was it you, Devananda? Just switch on yourself.
Yes, Sensei.
Was it your speech? Am I right? Was it yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
It was beautiful, and that was absolutely correct. There are two types of people. The true friends would respect your time, and the fake friends, not at all. Not at all. My friends, they don't call me because they respect my time. Okay, so you have to also, when I say declutter, you have to also declutter your mobile number, mobile device. You have to also declutter your friends. That doesn't mean their friends are bad. That's not what I mean. I mean to say that when you're focusing on something from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, make sure that nobody bothers you, including your family members. Only then you can reach that particular level. Is that okay, Ami? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's a tough challenge for me nowadays. That's why I asked.
It's a challenge for everyone. It's not for you. It's a challenge for everyone. Okay, it's a challenge for everyone, especially during this period of time. When you take COVID and all those things, all those reflection, every single day, I find someone or a message coming in the morning. When I get telephone calls, I'm a bit worried about who's the next person who has gone. Today, yesterday, day for yesterday, every single day I get a call. There's one person who has no more. Yesterday I got one of my friends, father and mother is gone. Today I got one of my best students who is my student for more than 30 plus years. His mother gone today. So every day when you get this phone, so when you have all these things coming in, it's very hard for anyone to focus and concentrate. So it is not only you, Ami, so don't blame yourself. It's around. So just relax and do it. Okay.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Hi, Sensei.
Yes.
Okay, let him go.
Okay. Yes, please. Jyoti Lal. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm Jyoti Lal from Kollam.
Yes, Jyoti Lal. Go ahead. What's your question?
As a corollary to what you have said already, how can we motivate ourselves?
Sorry, once again, I didn't get the question, please.
You talked about motivating ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Don't motivate others. How can we motivate ourselves? How can we find the internal drive?
Okay. Now there are internal, external drive. How many of you have done that book on internal, external motivation? I think Zena, you did that. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many else? Who else did that? Do you know that? Yes. Jafar Ali. Very good. So there are, yes, Ami. Very good. Thank you very much. So there are internal, external drives for sure. Now, internal drives could be many things. And one of the internal drive is called the purpose. The internal drive is purpose. The external drive could be money. The external drive could be lifestyle. But the most powerful internal drive is your passion, and number two is your purpose. And what does that mean? It's passion and purpose is entirely two different things, altogether two different things. Passion is something that makes you happy. You got it, Jyoti?
Yeah.
Yeah. Passion is something that makes you happy. Purpose is something that makes others happy.
Right.
How many of you got it? Say, I got it. I'll explain that. Passion is something that makes you happy. Purpose is something that makes others happy, for which you are ready to do that. I'll give you an example. Let's say you are hitting the gym every single day. I lost the track. Okay, once again, let me repeat that. So once you hit the gym, your passion may be to go and hit the gym. Okay, to have a very good body. Is that fine, Jyoti? That is your passion. Now, the passion could be number one, I want to go to the gym. Number one, because I want to show my biceps when I go to the college, because I got a lot of female students there, or female girls, or whatever it is. Jyoti, okay, I'm not talking about you. I'm taking somebody else, okay? You are not that type, okay? So that's number one. Number two, it could be that I want to be a model. Number three, it could be that I want to be Mr. India. Number four, it could be that I want to enter into the movie industry, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or somebody else. You got me? So your passion is bodybuilding, but your purpose is something like that. You got it? But all this purpose that I mentioned right now, either to showcase yourself in front of some opposite gender, number two, to show off your body in as a Mr. India, or number three, to get into the movie industry and so forth, it's all connected with you. Those purposes are connected with you, and these purposes will not last longer. How many of you got it? Say, I got it. Say, CC, crystal clear. These are purpose for sure. Hitting your gym is the passion. Going to the gym is your passion, but all these are purpose, but this purpose won't last longer. Now I'm giving another example. Let's say that you are around 40 years of age, okay? 40 plus. And now you're going to the gym. You're not interested in building your muscles. You're not interested to be in the cover page of a book. You're not interested to attract any opposite gender, or you're not interested to be a Mr. India, or you're not interested to be in the film industry. Now, my question to you is, Jyoti, why would people about the age of 40, 50, or 60 go to the gym? Tell me.
Because of their passion, I think.
Okay, what could other reason could be?
Because they want to maintain their body.
Okay, why should you maintain your body?
They want to lead a healthy life.
And why should you lead a healthy life?
When internally you can be happy.
Okay, why should you be internally happy?
Because all of us wants to be happy. That's why it is one way of living better.
So why should you live better?
Because we always want to be happy and content with ourselves.
So if you are happy and content with yourself, who else is going to benefit from that?
Primarily, we are the beneficiaries.
Who else is going to benefit?
The society will benefit. If we are happy, the society will be happy. We will be. In the best state of mind.
If you break down society, which would be your very immediate society?
Family.
How many of you got that? How many of you got that? So now he's going to the gym not for his purpose. Jyoti, did you get me? Now you're not going to the gym for your purpose. You're going to the gym for the happiness of your family. That's called purpose. And how did I identify this? What is the step that I used here?
Questioning.
Sorry, once again. What is the technique?
Empathy.
No.
Questioning.
What is that called? What is
coaching.
It? What is it? No, it's not coaching. It's not coaching, because I use a different term here. This is called the 5 deep step of why. I asked him 5 why questions, and he'll give me the answer. Go and check this video. I asked him 5 times. Go and check. When you get this recording, just go and check. I asked him 5 times, and 5 times you go and ask a person, you get the deeper answer. If I ask the first why, you get the surface answer. Once again, I want you to go and type deeper answer and surface answer. The first why gives you the surface answer. The 5 questions that I ask, you get the deeper answer. For anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Why did you do? Why? Keep on asking that why, you will get the deeper answer. Okay, this is something that you can use. This is something that you can use as a tool to educate or to empower and to coach. As Rashid said, you can use this for coaching purpose, coaching your teammates. Now here, when Rashid said that this was coaching, it looks or it sounds like coaching, but it was not coaching, because I use the word why. Why is a word that is hardly avoided in coaching. You got it? That's why I said it's not coaching. The most powerful word that you can use in coaching is what. You use what, then how. Okay? It's what, then how. Right. Did I answer your question, Jodilal? So when you have this purpose, when you have this purpose, or if you want to have the internal motivation, Your internal motivation should be connected with something which has got a purpose, and the purpose should be not about you. It has to be for somebody else. Then you will do it. Otherwise, you will not do it, because you will do it and you will leave it. You may do it for the time being, but you will leave it. I'll give you an example. The motivation is actually very short-lived. It's very short-lived. And I take this example out, or I take this by Zig Ziglar. He said that motivation is like taking bath. You take bath every single day. Similarly, motivation, you have to get motivated every single day. If you don't get motivated tomorrow, you go down. And you need to have somebody to motivate you so that you go up. You got me? So there should be a motivation every single day. If you don't get motivated on a regular basis, it's just like taking bath. That's number one. And number two, motivation is only short-lived. What does that mean? If I'm on stage, if I'm a motivational speaker and I just jump on the stage and say, you can do it, I can do it, we all can do it, and all those things, and you'll think, wow, this guy, he can do it, so definitely I can do it. And then you go and apply that, and if you're not able to do it, then the fourth day you'll become so desperate and say, my goodness, he was able to do it and I'm not able to do it. Automatically what happens? Your motivation goes down. You get demotivated. How many of you got it? How many of you got it? I say, I can do it, you can do it. I can do it, you can do it. Let's say that I'm a person with not the proper ability to do, and still if I do it, and then I come on the motivation stage and I motivate all of you, and you did your best to get to the level, and after 4 days you failed and you said that I can't do it, automatically what's going to happen there? You have demotivated that person. How many of you agree? Say, I agree. So motivation happens only at that period of time. If I'm there on stage as a motivation speaker for, let's say, for half an hour, it's only the half an hour I can motivate. The 35th minute, the motivation has gone. I'll tell you why, and I'll give an answer. If you are in a boxing ring, even if you take the best of the best boxer, whether it's Muhammad Ali or whether it is Mike Tyson or anyone, they need a motivator. How many of you agree? They have been practicing day and night, but once they're on the ring, there should be a motivator on the corner of the ring to say, hit, jump punch, go and give a hook punch and hit there, hit bottom and all those things. That's called a motivator. That's called a motivator. They require a motivator at that particular moment of time. Every 2 minutes of the ring fight, they need somebody to motivate. So automatically what happens? They get motivated and they take action. After imagine that the person has started motivation, automatically his punch, the power in his punch will go down. So if you want to motivate yourself, you have to connect your motivation with a purpose. And if there is no purpose, then automatically that's going to go down. The purpose is not about money. The purpose is not about the lifestyle. The purpose should be something that is bigger than your goal, and it must be connected with somebody else. That's when you go with it. Otherwise, you will lose it. Even if it's the biggest goal, you will lose the motivation after you hit the goal. Let's say that you want to climb or conquer the Himalayas, and that is your inner motivation. Once you go and reach on the top of the Himalayas or the Everest, the next day onwards, your motivation is gone. Do you agree, Jyotilal? The motivation is gone. Once you hit the pinnacle, if you hit the top, it's gone. So in order to keep that energy, keep in mind that success is a journey. It's not the destination. If you set that as a destination, once you reach the destination, your mood has gone. It's over. It's over. It's done. So always be a learner, always be on the path, always move forward. The only people who are not depressed in the world are the people who grow on a daily basis. I want you to all to go and write the keyword is grow. Grow on a daily basis. If you do not grow, this is called the law of growth, and it's a very good book written by John C. Maxwell. The only people, those who do not get depressed, because if you have to grow, there should be something. What is that something that you need to have? And if you have to grow, what is that you need to have? I want you to go and type. I want you to go and type. If you want to grow, what is that you need to have? If you want to grow, the fire for sure, the fire in the back, but that is something that you need. Learning should be there. That's all the fuel. What is that you need to have? Action, willpower. No, I'm looking for something else. In order to grow, purpose must be there. There must be purpose and there must be a goal. Only if there is a goal, then you will grow. But your growth is bigger than your goal. You'll reach the goal, then still you have to grow. You'll reach the next goal, again you have to grow. The next goal, again you have to grow. Now tell me, Jyotilal, what are you doing right now? What is that? Are you a student, professional? What is that you do?
I'm in government service.
You're in the government service. Now, did you grow when you were in a first standard student? Did you grow then after that?
Yeah.
You grew. You reached your 5th grade. Then you reached your 10th grade. Then you reached your pre-degree or 10th or 12th grade. Then you started growing to the place where you are right now.
Yes.
Am I right? Growth is something that happens only to people who have got a goal. Did you have a goal to join the government service? Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you work for it?
Yeah, I worked for it.
Did you have the inner motivation to do something when everybody was sleeping? You were preparing for the examination.
Yes, I did.
That is called inner motivation. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei.
Next, please.
Yeah, can I ask the question?
Sure, Zena, go ahead.
Good evening, Sensei. Can I ask you a question?
Let me take Zena first, then I'll come to you. Zena also came earlier, and okay, then I'll come to you, Satish.
All right.
Okay, Zena, go ahead. What's your question, please?
Thank you, Satish. When a leader Ami asked the question, you were talking about meditation.
Yeah.
So I thought about myself. You know, I have a phobia named phonophobia or misophonia, which is actually a triggering reaction to some specific sounds, and it's really bad for me. So when I'm doing meditation, these calming sounds and ASMR things, they don't work for me. I get really triggered by that. So while doing meditation, I have to be the surrounding and everything has to be really, really quiet, or else I cannot do meditation. So I was wondering how I can do meditation or calm myself and focus on my thoughts.
Good, very good. Zena, you don't have to be like the 90% of people. You don't have to be that. That's the first thing, because you are different. Are you unique? Do you agree that you're unique?
Of course.
Okay, so everybody, if you take 90% or 95% or 99% of the people, sometimes they need some sort of music, a calming music, or maybe it is some sort of waterfalls or whatever it is. Not necessary. Not necessary. That's exactly what I said. And there's an very old movie, even before you were born. Okay, let me tell you, Zena. And the name of the movie is called, if I'm correct, it's called Pushpak Vimanam. How many of you have seen that? If I'm correct, if the name is correct. How many of you seen that movie? Okay, it's Kamal Hassan is the actor in that, and it's a movie. I think that's the only movie in India which was produced without any sound. I'm correct. Is that the same movie? Am I right? Pushpak Vimanam. Is that correct? Yes. So there's no sound in that at all, and Kamal Hassan is staying in a street where it's full of noisy. It's full of noisy place. Okay, there's fight and all those things. This movie has no sound, no dialogue, nothing. Okay, then one day he has to go to a very good apartment. He has to go to an apartment where it is clean. It is absolutely clean, no noise, no clutter. It's completely decluttered, everything. He's not able to sleep there. He's not able to sleep there. So what he does, he has got this transistor radio, the old transistor radio or tape recorder. He takes that. It's all action. There's no sound. Okay, if you get the chance to watch that movie, just go and watch the movie. He goes with the tape recorder, goes to the same street where he was living for ages, and he records the noise there. He takes the tape recorder, goes back to his place, switch on the noise, and now the noise starts playing from his radio. He sleeps very well. How many people?
Seriously?
Yes. So what I mean by that, it's not that like everyone gets a couch to sleep. It's not that you can sleep on the couch. I know somebody, I remember when I came from Qatar, I came to Trivandrum for conducting 2 days training program. So one of my friends, he came to visit me in that Star Hotel. He said that Farookh Sensei, I can't sleep on a couch, and he had to sleep down. I said, why? Because he said that I'm used to sleeping down. I can't sleep in this couch. You got it? I felt comfortable sleeping on the couch, but he was not feeling comfortable sleeping on the couch. Therefore, Zena, don't look at what people are doing. Look at what you can do and just follow that. Is that fine with you?
Sure, and I think closing my eyes and sitting on a certain position, I don't think that really helps me. I just have to, even though, let me tell you seriously, when I'm going to sleep, I actually meditate. I just focus on my thoughts and then I sleep, and I think it's really useful rather than sitting on a certain position. I don't think that works for me.
That's exactly what I said. I can walk and meditate. I can walk and
Yeah.
meditate. I can walk and meditate very much. I can walk and meditate. There is no issues at all. I won't even see the people who are passing around me. I even meditate when I'm in the car. That's why I don't drive. I don't go for long drive. I never like to be seated. Many of my students, they know that I don't like long drive. Sitting in the driver's seat, okay? I like to rather be on the other side. If it's a short drive, yes, it's okay. But long drive, automatically I start meditating. Not sleeping, meditating. Automatically it comes to me. So therefore, it's not good for me to drive because I know that I don't see people I may go and hit. So I'm very careful about it. I don't sit in the driver's seat. Similarly, you can meditate while you're sleeping. It's not necessary that you have to sit in the lotus position or in a Padmasana or the Vajrasana. No, you don't have to do that at all. And you can still relax and meditate. Is that fine?
Sure, thank you so much.
You're most
I'm
welcome.
I'm really skeptical about the thing that we should fit into this 99% of people things,
No.
and I'm really skeptical. Yes, about that.
No, not at all. If you just imagine if there is someone who does not, who can't sit in the Padmasana or lotus position or the Vajrasana, and still they can meditate. Is it possible? The answer is yes. Okay, so don't take those as your norms. It has to be there. No, not at all. What you are comfortable with, just do it.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
My pleasure. Let me go to Satish. Satish, go ahead, please. You're from Goa, am I right, Satish?
Can I add something, Sensei?
Yes, please.
So regarding this meditation, there is a word, Sthira Sugam Asana. Sthira Sugam Asana means you are fixed there and you comfort. Any posture with your vertebra straight and the neck straight, if you are comforting that, Sthira Sugam Asana, then you can meditate.
Absolutely.
There is no, it is particular asana is not any asana.
Exactly. It's all about how you can relax yourself and then do
how
it.
you have relaxation. You should forget about the body. The pain should not come there. There is a strains and pain should not come there.
Absolutely.
Forget about the body so that you can concentrate. If you got a pain and you are not, the posture is not correct, then you will be moving your body here and there and you will be concentrated. Your attention will be there. That is what.
Thank you very much for sharing the wisdom. Thank you very much.
So Jodhilal sir, he just now, he finished there.
Okay.
Mr. Jodhilal, he was there for yesterday. He was asking me when I mentioned your name in one of our class, one of our sessions.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank you. So let me go to, thank you very much for that. Let me go to Satish. Satish, because he was about to ask me a question. Satish, go ahead.
Yes, Sensei, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead. You're from Goa, am I right?
Yes, Sensei, very much from Goa.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question, please?
Sensei, I just wanted to know, like, how to find the niche. But everybody is saying that niche is very important if you have a certain goal.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think?
Only if a person is.
What do you think, Satish?
Only if a person who has a.
Yeah.
So I'm just like wondering, like, I want to know, like, if somebody is saying that you have to find out a niche, what is exactly you have to do for that?
Okay.
If I want to do something, I want to achieve a goal, or I have a desire, burning desire to achieve a goal. Now, if I'll be only able to tell others about the niche finding, if I'm able to find out my niche, how did I do that?
Very good. I can help you out. Within 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. So number one, niche has nothing to do with goal. Let's make that very clear. Niche is something, or niche,
okay.
However you pronounce it. Niche has nothing to do with goal. Goal is different thing. Niche is something else. Niche, in other words, if I draw a box, a niche is a market. Okay, it's a market. That is the niche. Goal, reducing 10 kilos is a goal. You agree?
Okay.
Reducing my 10 kilos, if I'm overweight, if I want to reduce 10 kilos, that's my goal. That has nothing to do with the market. Is that correct? So don't mix up these two together. Let's keep the goal different, which you have always learned from different people, and you have reached to where you are today. What is that you're doing, if you don't mind, in one line?
Presently, due to this COVID, I'm at home only. I'm not doing anything.
And before that?
I'm a sales manager for Casino Strike, Grand Hyatt.
Very good, excellent. Grand Hyatt. Okay, beautiful. Cochin, I conducted my training there. Beautiful. So you had a goal, am I right, to become a manager in a particular 5-star hotel and so forth. You had a goal. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in order to reach the goal, there are certain education and certification you did that. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so that is goal. So I'm not going to talk about goal now. I'll talk about niche because that was your major question. Is that okay?
Correct.
Okay. So keep yourself unmuted. We are going to speak and others can take down notes and type. So niche is a market. It's a frame. Okay, a market. Now in a market, there are different things that can happen in the market. Am I right? There could be many things, many people, many product, many services. Is that right? Now you as Satish, you can't sell your product, whatever it is, to everyone in the marketplace. Do you agree? Let's say you have a product, Okay, let's say this is a product, a physical product. You can't sell this product to everyone because everyone does not need that.
Correct.
So you are looking for the specific group of people who need that.
Okay.
How do you do that? To do that, you have to select one person. I want you all to go and type. How many person? You have to select only one person. Not two, only one person. I want everyone to go and type. If you want to become successful, if you want to create your own brand, if you want to become a successful entrepreneur, any guru, the top guru in the world will teach you this thing, what I'm going to teach you. If you want to be powerful in the marketplace, in the entire market, you should be focusing only one person. Now, and then you ask yourself, who is this person? Okay, who is this person? Let's say you are a yoga teacher. I'm just giving an example since we spoke about yoga. Let's say you're a yoga teacher. Okay, so this one person, we are going to define this one person. You are saying this one person is not a male. Okay, when you say this person is not a male, then who is he? That's a female, am I right?
Okay.
So that means all the male have gone from this person. It does not belong to this niche of yours. All the male have gone. The next question you're asking is, I am going to teach yoga to only female about the age of 40. When you say 40, all the people, all the female below the age of 40 is gone. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Okay, because you're giving a shape to this avatar. This is called an avatar. Okay, this is also called as a persona. It's also called a persona, or it's called a customer avatar. So you're giving a shape to this avatar, saying that this is a female about the age of 40. Number 3, you're saying that this is a female about the age of 40 who can understand and speak English. Now, what happened here?
Okay.
Everybody who does not speak English is gone. You agree? Because you can only communicate in English.
Agreed.
Imagine that you can only communicate in English. Therefore, everyone who can't speak English is gone. Number 4 is that this is a person, this is a lady about the age of 40, as I mentioned. She has got a back pain. So anybody who does not have a back pain is gone. You agree?
It's gone. Correct.
Number 5,
Agreed.
she has got back pain and she's also diabetic. Why? Because you are an expert in diabetic and back pain, and you are a yoga instructor. Okay, so you are looking only for customers with back pain, with diabetic, about the age of 40, who is a female who can speak English. You agree? You agree with that? And the last question, if I may ask this question, and the last question I may ask is, and this person should know something to do on Zoom, meaning online. Okay, now you have got 5 conditions. Sorry, 5 to 6 conditions. Number 1, it has to be a female about the age of 40 who can speak in English, who has got a back pain, who is diabetic, and who can communicate with me on Zoom. that becomes your customer. Do you agree? When you define that one single customer, anybody who falls in that bracket, becomes your customer. That is called niche. So my question is, if you find someone who is at the age of 29, is that part of your niche?
Yes.
Once again, repeat. If you find someone who is the age of 29, is that part of your niche?
No.
Why no? Tell me why.
Because I have not mentioned that.
You have mentioned
what I'm going to do with.
No. You have clearly mentioned. You said above the age of 40. If I'm taking this example as yoga teacher, okay, Satish, you're with me, am I right? If I take this example as yoga teacher, I said I'm giving you 5 to 6 conditions. It has to be a female, okay? I want you to think. I'm going to ask you some questions now. It has to be a female. Number 2, above the age of 40, okay, must speak English. Number 4, must be a diabetic patient, must have back pain, and the last one must be able to communicate on Zoom. These are the 5 to 6 conditions I gave. Okay, so my question is, if you get a client who is 29 years of age, would you take that as your customer?
Is it a male or a female?
I didn't say anything of this. I said 29 years of age. Would you take them, that person as your customer?
No, I won't.
Why won't you take? What is the why won't you take? What is the reason? Give me one reason.
Because it is mentioned that I'll be only taking above 45.
Exactly correct.
40
Now
years.
exactly correct. Now let's say you got a person who is 40 years of age, and that is a male. Would you take him?
Okay. No, as mentioned, it's only for female.
Very good. You take somebody who can speak only Gujarati and Marathi. Would you take her?
No, it's mentioned it's only English.
Okay. You take somebody who knows yoga and you are who does not have a back pain. Would you take her?
No.
So that is called niche. Niche is to chip out everything and get a statue out of the rock. You got me? If you get a big rock, you're chipping out everything and getting a small statue, which may be, say, 10 centimeters, and the rock is round about, say, 1 meter in size. You got a big, huge rock, and you're chipping out everything from the rock to create a statue which is just 10 centimeters. That is called niche. And every person who does not fall in this niche is not your customer. It's not your customer.
Understood. Very well understood.
Anyone who falls in this niche will pay you huge amount of money to come and learn from you, because in your ads, you'll say, I'm going to conduct a training program from the 19th of February, which is going to be for female above the age of 40 who can speak in English, who has got back pain, who are diabetic, and who can communicate with me on Zoom. This session is going to be on Zoom. And if I'm getting the ads on Facebook, or if I'm getting that on Instagram, or if I'm getting on a printed note and I read that, if I'm a 40 years of age old lady, young lady, and if I can speak in English, and if I have got this back pain and I'm suffering from this back pain, I'm also diabetic and I want to get cure of this diabetic, when I read this paper, don't you think that I'll be one of your customer calling you?
Correct.
Okay, so once you focus on the niche, people say that I can do this. I can teach people. I can teach students. I can teach people who are 12 years old. I can also teach who are 65 years old. I can teach even male. I can teach even female. I can teach whether they are diabetic. I can teach even if they are not diabetic. I can teach even if they have got a back pain or not. Then you lost the market. If you attempt to do everything, I want everyone to understand that if you attempt to do everything, you will never get anyone. Okay, if you attempt to do everything, you will never get anyone and you will never become a brand. If you want to create your own brand, a personal brand where you are popular, where people will pay you money, you must become a specialist. And in order to be a specialist, you must define your market, and you have to take the smallest piece in the market and you have to train them, coach them, or even if it's a product that you're coming up with, the product must be specialized only for that niche market. Only then the products become successful. Now, I'll give an example. I'll give an example before we wind up this speech. Instagram when they come up with their product, when they come up with their service, or when they come up with their upgrade, they focus all the youngsters. Do you agree? How many of you agree?
Agreed.
Instagram is not
Agreed.
for people who are about the age of 40 or something, because they are on Facebook. Okay, so anyone above Facebook, or sorry, anyone who's above 40, Facebook is everything they are doing on Facebook, are like Facebook groups and all those things. It's for the adults who are about the age of XYZ, and Instagram is focusing only on the young adults, so that is what they'll be focusing on. And to focus on young adults, for sure, Instagram would be having young leaders to understand, brainstorm, and get their ideas. What is that your generation requires? There would be discussions going on, brainstorming, and based on their discussion, they bring up and they update their devices, they update their software. Everything is done based on the needs and the requirements of the youngsters, not the adults who are about the age of 40 plus. Why? Because niche works very powerful.
Can I give an example, Sensei?
Yes, for sure.
I saw a board when I went to a supermarket one day, and that was a notice board, and that read, wanted, cashier is wanted, must be 18 years old with 20 years of experience. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that means he must be training even before he came into this world.
Yes, he must be training in his mother's womb. And I was like, that's a good niche. So it's a funny niche, and I think you'll remember that really well. So that's why I gave this example.
Thank you, Zena. Satish, was I able to answer your question?
Yes, Sensei, very much. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Sensei, I have a confusion about this.
Yes,
okay.
Go
See,
ahead.
the other day I was just reading Robert Kiyosaki,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just explaining about the conflict of thoughts between his rich dad and poor dad.
Mm-hmm.
The poor dad says that he needs to be specialized in that to become successful in life or to make money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the rich dad says you don't need to be specialized. You want to know a little about a lot, that you need to do several things to be more successful. So that thought and our discussion about specialization and niche, I'm just confused about it. So could you please clarify that?
Sure. So could you tell me what was that the poor dad's father said?
Yes. Poor dad said, poor dad said you need to be specialized. That's what we always said, because it's like the specialization of doctors, specialists, and then subspecialists like that. Because that don't work to be extraordinary successful in life. To become that, you need to you want to know a little about a lot. And you need to do many things, many roles to be successful in life. So you learn more on different aspects.
That was from the rich dad, am I right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And now, Rashid, could you tell me how does a switch work?
Switch works with the power. We break the power connection.
So what happens?
When we connect it again, it works.
What happens inside?
The power goes.
Okay. Through the what?
Through the cable.
Okay. What is in one cable? What is the other cable? What is the
one is positive and negative? That's what I understood.
Okay. And what's the third one?
Neutral.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes, that's what I understood. As if no, my understanding about such things is very minimal.
Okay.
I would say.
But there is one thing that you know.
Yeah.
That if you press the switch, the bulb will lit, and when you press the switch, the bulb will get off. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by here is you do not have to know everything. You just have to know something. How many of you got it? How many of you got it? You do not have to go deep and learn something whereby you miss the actual thing. There are people who this is what we call as analyze, paralyze. How many of you got it that? How many have heard that? You analyze, you get paralyzed, and you don't never take any step. How many of you know that? So therefore, never do that. When you learn something, learn it for a little. You know what it is working. If you know it's working, go for the next thing. As simple as that. Okay. Now, you can be a specialist only by switching on. You don't have to go in detail to learn how the switch work. What is the cathode on the, I don't know what is the other thing. I have forgotten everything which I learned in my school days.
Yeah, I also forgot about those things.
Yeah. you must be asking either a teacher or a student right now, because I don't remember all
my
this.
son knows better.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So what I mean to say here is if you want to be a specialist, you can be a specialist just like the poor dad said, and you can earn money out of it. And you can be in the other side what the rich father also said. Now, let me make it something very clear here. Now, if I take Rich Dad Poor Dad, because Rich Dad Poor Dad's advisor is my teacher, in fact, and his name is Brian Singer. So I just had his training recently. So the whole focus is not about being only specialist. You must be able to market as a specialist.
Sensei.
Yes, 9 o'clock. Can I take 5 more minutes? Okay, because those who do not know, Hannah Rena is our time manager. She knows exactly to stop me at 9 o'clock. Now let me get the permission from Hannah for another 5 minutes. Okay, so 9.
Sure, Sensei.
And then I'll stop. So let me just recap this one. It's not about being specialist. There are a lot of doctors who are specialists, but they are broke. How many of you agree to that? There are a lot of doctors who are specialists, but they don't know how to market themselves. And there are other general practitioners on the other side. They are making very good amount of money. Is that right? Rashid, do you agree to that? You can unmute yourself.
Yes. I know that because I am dealing with many doctors on a daily basis.
So it's all about it's not about being very specific. It's not to be a specialized in some particular area. It's also how to market yourself. When I was having the session with Blair Singer, he was saying that even before Robert Kiyosaki wrote that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, they are friends even before that. So he used to work for this one we call a Xerox company, and he was working for Xerox, and he came there for selling a valet. Okay, he came there to sell a valet, and by that, it's not going to work until otherwise. He became popular. Robert Kiyosaki became popular. Why? Because he was able to apply the AA principle. Am I right? How many of you know what's an AA principle? Okay. And even today, most of the successful people take that book. Even I have that book somewhere here. Why? Because he was able to create a trend in the marketplace, and that was attention and attraction. So if you are a specialist, doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. How many of you got it? I want to make this very clear. Okay, if you're a specialist, because his father, the poor dad was actually a professor in the college. Am I right, Rashid? So his father was a professor. Yes. He is specialized in something, but that doesn't mean that he is financially successful, but he is specialized in one thing. Being specialized in one thing does not make you an expert, and it does not make you successful until otherwise you are able to brand yourself. I want everyone to go and type personal branding, PB, please. You have to personal brand yourself. You should be away from all other people. Meaning, when I say away, you should not be doing exactly what other people are doing. You should not be doing exactly what they are doing. And you don't have to do different things. All you have to do is do it differently. If you're able to do it differently, that's when you become the role model. That's when you become or create a brand. Okay, so here again, to answer your question, if you want to be successful, Rashid, you need to have a niche. Now you are into PR right now, am I right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Now, when you are into PR, you have, what type of customers do you deal with?
On a range, see, again, the specialization. When talking about specialization, I am supposed to manage clients on a variety of industries, including health, technology, corporate, real estate. What would I?
Okay, all right.
Finance.
So these are different industries. These are different industries. I agree. Now, when it comes to different industry, is then a particular position for them you are given, or is it like a middle management, senior management, or is it a high ticket, or is it a low ticket, medium ticket? What type of people?
The clients, right?
Yes, the clients I'm talking about.
All types of clients. As an agency, we'll have to manage all types of
that is where you make the biggest mistake.
Yeah, but we call it different practices, but there are different teams on different practices.
So if you want to be a brand in that particular industry, or if your company want to become a brand in that particular segment, then you have to focus on one segment of the market, not all the segments. Not all the segments. You can either say that we only deal with this particular industry, or you say that you deal with various industry. However, the clients and the customers that we are going to deal is with in this bracket, or salary. It could be a salary package or whatever it is. You can put the bracket. As long as you put the bracket, and if you make it much more smaller and narrow, your customer cycle would increase.
That is true. For that purpose, we classify it as practice. One industry is one practice. So that practice is handled by one team, and another practice is handled by one team, and senior leaders, they manage different teams. They
Great.
Sensei.
Yes. So we're going to start before that. So do you agree, Rashid, that there also specification works?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
that
because
only specification works.
So number one, you need to be very specific. Number two, you need to have a niche, and number three, just by having niche or just by having specification in a particular industry, it's not going to work until otherwise you brand your name, and therefore personal branding is very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and coaches.
Sensei, 1 second. May I add one thing in connection with this? The best example is Thomas Alva Edison, because there are so many people before him invented bulb. That he's the only person marketed it through General Electric. When you go to the Google search, you can see that Thomas Alva Edison was an American inventor and a businessman.
Exactly. And I have been to his place in Qatar. We got the General Electric's GE. GE is one of the best companies in the world. If you want to get training, one of the best companies in the world is Rolls-Royce, and one is GE, and I've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever I'm speaking here is from experience. I'm not just seeing anything else. Okay. Okay. So
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, and take care of yourself.
Thank you, Sensei.
And those who are joining me tomorrow in the Train the Trainers program, I'll tell you, it is amazing because it's been really, really updated, the latest, whatever it is. I'm going to speak about a lot of things. So tomorrow would be your day one of the Train the Trainers program. Those who want to become trainer facilitators, you're welcome tomorrow. Okay. And if you have any doubt, you can just contact Anish. It's going to start at 7:30 tomorrow. Thank you very much. It's going to be an 8-week program. You all take care of yourself, and see you next Thursday. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Sensei. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, sir.